US has shifted its tariff deadline by another week. This is a major trade storm that is brewing with the US President Donald Trump rolling out sweeping tariffs on dozens of countries. Economists say that American companies and consumers are the ones paying the price. Inflation is ticking up and imported goods are getting more expensive. India, meanwhile, stands its ground, refusing to bow to pressure over Russian oil and trade demands. Do remember that India getting its oil from Russia has been a sticking point as far as the US is concerned. However, India has continued to maintain saying that they need to really look out for national interests first, and that is where the focus really is. Now, this as US President Donald Trump has hit out at New Delhi, and it's US Secretary of State Marco Rubio who has said that India's purchases of Russian oil are helping to sustain Moscow's war efforts in Ukraine. Listen in to his entire interview.
So as you know, the trade deals are coming down. That's not really your purview. You have enough on your plate. But one thing the president said last night on Truth Social, he goes, Russia continues to be the top oil supplier to India. And during their first 6 months, they're making up 35% of the overall supplies. He, quote, India will therefore be paying a tariff of 25% plus a penalty for the above starting on August 1st. He's upset, maybe you're upset, that India continues to get, instead of a small portion, a great portion of their discounted oil from Russia, which is fueling their war machine. How disappointed are you in a so-called ally?
Look, global trade, India is an ally. It's a strategic partner. Like anything in foreign policy, you're not going to align 100% of the time on everything. India has huge energy needs, and that includes the ability to buy oil and coal and gas and things that it needs to power its economy, like every country does. And it buys it from Russia because Russian oil is sanctioned and cheap, and meaning they have to, in many cases, are selling it under the global price because of their sanctions.
Yep.
And that, unfortunately, that is helping to sustain the Russian war effort. So it is most certainly a point of irritation in our relationship with India. Not the only point of irritation. We also have many other points of cooperation with them. But I think what you're seeing the president express is the very clear frustration that with so many other oil vendors available, India continues to buy so much from Russia, which in essence is helping to fund the war effort, right, and allowing this war to continue in Ukraine.
सरकार हालिया घटनाक्रम से होने वाले प्रभावों का परीक्षण कर रही है। वाणिज्य एवं उद्योग मंत्रालय निर्यातकों और उद्योग सहित सभी हितधारकों से संवाद कर इस विषय पर उनके आकलन की जानकारी ले रहा है। सरकार हमारे किसानों, श्रमिकों, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, उद्यमी, निर्यातकों, सूक्ष्म, लघु और मध्यम उद्योगों और उद्योग जगत के सभी हितधारकों के कल्याण की रक्षा और संवर्धन को सर्वोच्च महत्व देती है। हम अपने राष्ट्रीय हितों को सुरक्षित करने और आगे बढ़ाने के लिए सभी आवश्यक कदम उठाएंगे।
Rishabh Bhatnagar, my colleague joining us from NDTV Profit in order to break it down for us. Rishabh, this is not on expected lines a U-turn or an extension by Donald Trump, but this is just procedural. Will this little window mean there's room for more talks or not?
Perhaps this would mean that there is an additional some sort of time that has been bought. Perhaps this is also a negotiating tactic with an additional 5 or 6 days worth to just negotiate or iron out some sort of an understanding between various countries and US to reach some sort of an agreement that is more favorable to the US. So perhaps this 5 to 6 day procedural is what they are calling it, but yeah, it is effectively an extension of this August 1st tariff deadline. So that is what we're seeing. But from August 7th, if there are no changes, we will see a 25% tariff that will be coming in on India. This will be impacting various sectors, some of them being textiles, gems and jewelry, and engineering exports. Those are the top three that will be impacted. We have very little clarity over the penalties that the Trump administration mentioned that will be imposed on India. Remember, this is all due to India's relations with Russia, with respect to the oil that is purchased from Russia, with respect to the defense equipment that is brought on from Russia. India's presence in the BRICS grouping is also something that has irked the US. Apart from that, there is a lot of vulnerability that we're seeing in terms of the smartphone sector, in terms of pharma, in terms of semiconductors. Those are something that have remained exempt from tariffs for now, but it is yet to be seen what sort of tariffs they will attract after August 7th now. But till then, there is also the 10% baseline tariff that applies to all countries, not just India. So that continues to stay in effect. But the 25% tariffs, as we have read the White House order, will come into effect 7 days from July 31st, which is August 7th. That is what we're picking up the latest on this Trump tariff regime.
Right. Well, Rishabh, stay with us for our next story as well. And this is Donald Trump at it again. And in fact, he has increased the tariffs when it comes to Canada. In fact, new tariff rates ahead of that deadline with the US president just last night, signing an executive order increasing tariffs on Canadian goods to 35% from 25% on all products not covered by the US-Mexico-Canada trade agreement, is what the White House has gone on to say. So the goods, these are goods that have been transshipped to another country to evade the new tariffs will be subject to a transshipment levy of 40%. And that is what the White House has gone on to say. Rishabh joining us in order to know more on this. Rishabh, what does this really mean? Because, we do know that Trump, grabs eyeballs and headlines, and there's always a shake-up, every now and then a U-turn or a shake-up. And this is exactly what we're seeing playing out when it comes to Canada.
Right, Rubio, in terms of Canada, we saw tariffs go up from 25 to 35%. In terms of Brazil, there was an additional 50% tariff threat that had come in. In terms of Mexico and China, though, Trump has given them some sort of an extension to negotiate a better deal, given the close ties that those two countries have with the US. But I have the fact sheet right here with me. We're seeing a 35% tariff coming in on Iraq. We're seeing a 40% tariff coming in on Laos, a 41% tariff on Syria. Bunch of countries have actually managed to reduce their tariffs in terms of, you have the United Kingdom that has come down from about 15% to 10%. And the same goes for Australia. You have them come down to around 10% as well. So a bunch of countries through talks, through negotiations have been able to come down. But we've seen some countries actually also go up if they've not held favorable negotiations with the US over the past 3 months or 90 days since that extension was given, first on April 9th, then that was shifted to July 9th, then August 1st, and now August 7th is what we're assuming the final date of implementation is. We still don't know what sort of penalties India will attract, but till then it is a 10% baseline tariff for India, and then 25% starting August 7th, plus an additional unknown penalty that is causing a lot of uncertainty in terms of exports from India.
Right. Interestingly, Rishabh, also it's Pakistan that's emerged with the lowest tariff rate of any South Asian country. Thank you so much for getting us those details.